Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of College Hoops 2K8 MyCareer. Here we are playing against Charleston Southern. As far as this game goes, I wanted to come out and try to get assists, in this game. Currently, my dude is leading the nation in points and assists, shockingly. I haven't really been getting too many assists outside of the Tulane game. That was a hell of a pick, you know what I'm saying? But turnovers are key. As far as this game goes, once again, I really didn't have a whole lot of things to be afraid of in this matchup because, this team isn't really that good. Record-wise, as far as in a game, I think they were like 4-1 or something like that. I think they had a similar record to us. We 3-2. Going into this game, but obviously, if you compare player stats, our team is far better. We have much better shooters, obviously, but matchup-wise, it's a really easy matchup to take heed in. And like I said, I wanted to come out and get teammates involved. I wanted to get assists during this game. Now, as far as assists goes, for whatever reason, I pass the ball, they usually pass it right back. I be mashing the square button to try to make them shoot. Like I just got Macbeth to pull up just now. He's usually the one guy that I can count on to pull up and shoot a shot. It doesn't always go in, especially from mid-range. I don't understand it. Like, this dude can't hit from mid-range for shit. He got one to fall right there, but usually it's off the rim. But if you pull up from three, I say 60% of the time it's going in. From mid-range, it's more like 3 out of every 10 shots he'll drop from mid-range. And that just seems to be the case with the entire team outside of scoring the ball underneath the basket. You see, I tried to get him to shoot, but he passed it back. I guess I need what that thing is, on-court coach. For 2K, be like, hey, bro, shoot the damn ball. That was a nifty move that I pulled off, and I got fouled, but it is what it is. I'm hoping that this post-game commentary is syncing up with this video because, I'm watching the video on Sony Vegas right now, and usually, I don't know, for whatever reason, it never works out the way I be wanting it to work out. So I'm just, rambling on. I'm looking at the playback on Vegas, and it's playing, but, at the same time, I'm trying to, commentate, on Audacity. So I don't know if it's going to sync up right. Usually when I try to do it like this, it never seems to sync up right. It's like either Vegas is behind on my voice or my voice is too far ahead, either or. But yeah, man, just finished watching UFC, before I started playing this game, and it was Korean Zombie made his triumphant return against Dennis Bermudez. Man, I thought, I picked the Zombie to win, but I thought he was gonna win in the second round. And I felt like it was gonna, take him a little minute to shake off a little bit of the rust. He got hit with a hellacious punch that stunned his ass, but once he shook back from that punch, it was like, hey, I know what it's like to get hit again. And he stopped Dennis Bermudez, stopped this attempts to kind of half-ass shoot for takedowns, and hit him with a beautiful uppercut that flattened him, plus the ground and pound punches. Other fights, that Felice Herrig Alexa Grasso fight was not a good fight, but in terms of who you felt won. I mean, Felice Herrick threw more. She missed a hell of a lot. Like, they were like, oh man, beautiful combination by Felice. I mean, blocked, whiffed, grazed. Like, rinse and repeat. I mean, she landed some good counter punches. But other than that, I mean, it looked like sparring practice. If they allowed draws, and didn't have a 10-point must scoring system, I think that fight would have ended up a draw. That one judge probably would have gave it to Felice, but I think it would have been a majority draw because first round, I felt like nobody won the first round. Second round, Felice won the second round, and I felt like Alexa Grasso should have clearly won the third round. I mean, that one judge that had it 30-27, I guess. But anyways, man, shout out to Angela Hill for having the realest chin out here. I mean, the punches that Jessica Andrade was putting on her, man, like, I don't know, most women would have just went flat. Like, she got a hell of a fucking chin, man. Like, I don't know. I think she get her chin from playing so many video games, You can't teach a chin, you know what I'm saying? You can't train that, but hey, man, stand up playing video games, popping heads on Call of Duty or something. I don't know what it is. Something like that. It's doing great things for her. Probably falling off track. Y'all probably like, what the fuck are you talking about, UFC, MMA? I mean, we got the Super Bowl tomorrow, or today as I'm talking about it. I mean, anybody that knows me, you already know what team I rock with. It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. Not tripping. Free Aaron Hernandez. But, back to this college thing, man. Like, it's kind of strange. I mean, Duke's doing pretty bad. I guess they tripping up. No pun intended to Grayson Allen. But UCLA's looking pretty bad. I mean, Kentucky's looking good. Kansas, they looking good. North Carolina is okay. So, the most of the good teams out in real life, they like dragging ass in this legacy that I'm playing. But I don't know. Once we get into conference play, I think I gotta play Clemson, Louisiana Monroe. Shit. It's halftime, so I'm gonna stop talking.
Now we'll bring you our player of the half. Who's your pick, Bill?
Turner has been lights out from the floor, Vern. It must feel like he's throwing the ball in the ocean. Every shot he takes goes through, and he looks absolutely unstoppable.
Tremendous effort from our player of the half.
All right, back to the game. Like I was saying, before we get into conference play, I think we have to play Clemson, Louisiana Monroe, then North Carolina, and then we jump into a quick 2-game tournament. It's low-tier team, so I feel like we should come out on top of that tournament, but, I mean, anything can happen. You can lose at any given moment. Hell, a player could get hurt. Anything's possible in this thing. Once we get to conference play, I think Stephen F. Austin is probably the only team that can beat us in conference play. All other teams, no. And right now, Stephen F. Austin, at the moment that I was playing this game, they were 4-0, but they lost their game, after I completed this one. I looked at their record, and they were 4-1. So, we not too far off. So, I think they might be the only legit challenge. I mean, they have players that match up a lot better than ours. They have, better overall players. Like right now, the dude that I'm controlling, overall rating, like I said, got a high 3-point rating. It's like it's fucking 80 something. So that's like the only thing he's really good at. He can't dunk. I think he got like a 52 dunk. So he can dunk technically, but he got to be like on a fast break, crossover, garbage, like 70. So got the high dribble animation. I think you gotta get like 80 or something like that to get the business crossovers, break ankles and shit. I mean, I did break somebody in one of those games. I don't remember who it was I dropped. It might have been in the LSU game. I know I dropped somebody. Like, dropped them real bad with the left-right joint. But, yeah, man, like, once we get into conference play, I feel like it's going to be cakewalk city. Then we get to the conference tournament to make our case for the bid to get into the fucking championship March Madness joint. Once we get to March Madness, probably gonna get the play-in game because, like I said, our team sucks. Depends on what our record is come tournament time. So if we have a pretty good record, we might get a favorable matchup. And I am subbed out the game. That is the end of the video.
And that's the ball game. Nicholls State defeats the Buccaneers 39-23. Now we'll bring you our player of the game. Now let's go back to Greg Gumbel with today's version of the Pontiac game-changing performance.
Hi and welcome everyone to the 2K Sports Studios. I'm Greg Gumbel and we're going to bring you our Pontiac game-changing performance. A big momentum swing was a considerable factor in the outcome of this contest. The Nicholls State Colonel never lost track of their game plan in this contest. This shot started them off on a long run and their opponent never recovered.
Thank you, Greg. This is Vern Lundquist for Tracy Wolfson and Bill Raftery. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of college hoops on 2K Sports.
Welcome everyone to the 2K Sports Studios. I'm Greg Gumbel with Clark Kellogg. Just ahead on College Hoops Tonight, we'll take a look at the upcoming big games of the week in college hoops, as well as tell you where the top recruit in the nation is headed. But first, let's take a look at the best games of the past week in college basketball. We have a real surprise to show you. Not too many folks expected the result that came from this one. USC overpowered Kansas.
If anyone tells you they had this pick, Greg, you know they're lying. Kansas is going to be knocked off their top spot after losing to a team like this. McLaughlin carried his team to the win. His 8 points led the team. The best way to earn a big-time rep for yourself is to step up when the game matters most. And that's exactly what this young man did. He'll be a household name soon if he keeps performing like this.
And two teams, each enjoying a spot in the top 25, got together. Kentucky beat North Carolina.
Both of these teams played at a high level and put on quite a show. It was back and forth from start to finish and made for an exciting game. It makes you wish every game was between top 25 teams. Kentucky really muscled up down low and was able to convert a lot of easy chances close to the basket. Whether it was the big men or the guards, they made the most of their opportunities. They established their inside presence from the start and were able to rely on getting their points down low throughout the game.
Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. I'm looking forward to this game just like everybody else. This matchup has the possibility of becoming quite a little rivalry because these teams match up so well against each other, and it's always a heated atmosphere when they're on the court together.
Alabama should come out on top if I had to make a prediction. Their backcourt is so solid this year and their guards love to get out and run. That gives them a huge advantage in a game that should be as fast-paced as this one will be.
But that's not the only item on the schedule that has NCAA fans buzzing. This contest has been circled on the calendar for much longer than just the past week. With both teams coming in ranked in the top 5, this has all the makings of a heavyweight bout.
Indiana is going to be my pick this time, Greg. Their style could really present some problems on the offensive end of the court, and I look for them to be an absolute handful every time the ball's in their hands.
As much news that happens on the court this time of year, there's also big news that happens off the court as well. Perhaps one of the biggest names to be floating around in recruiting made up his mind recently. The Duke Blue Devils are already celebrating, and all this is for a player that is yet to set foot on the university's ground.
Well, Paul made up his mind after months of having coaches beating down his door, and everyone involved in that program is whistling on their way to work today.
You can't blame them for being so happy about landing the #1 point guard in the entire nation. The point guard is the floor general and the leader of his team. By landing such a great prospect, they feel their program will be in good hands for years to come. That'll do it for us here in the studio. For my partner, Clark Kellogg, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for watching College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy the exciting week of college hoops action to come.